Have you ever felt that whisper in your soul calling you to something more, but all the things spinning around in your mind have kept you stuck? Well, what if I told you that choosing excellence could be both easier and more adventurous than you could ever imagine? I am Chelsea DeBruin-Colbert, your host of All Things Excellence. I'm a soul catalyst for excellence who leapt off that corporate cliff and left small-town Iowa farm life in my 20s to follow my calling, helping women come home to themselves by anchoring into who they're designed to be. I create sacred containers where women rediscover their truth, design their dream life, and transform those whispers into action. Now you can find me running my business from the soccer sidelines as a coach's wife, hiking my favorite Arizona mountain, or back in Iowa with my family, or on an adventure chasing my next sunrise, hot cup of coffee and journal in hand. Through intimate conversations about the stories, the traumas, and the transformations behind choosing excellence, we're creating a collective healing journey together. I believe in diving deep into personality designs, experimenting boldly, and learning life's greatest lessons through our beautiful chaos. Every week, my guests and I are going to rip down the curtains so you can see behind the scenes of real transformation as we explore what excellence actually looks like. Not just the highlight reel, but that messy middle where the magic happens. Whether you're seeking inspiration to take that leap or already on your journey and craving connection, this is your invitation to join us. So grab your coffee, settle in, and get ready to discover just how close you are to the life your soul is calling you to create. This is All Things Excellence. Hello, All Things Excellence fam. Today I get to bring to you Jackie Richards. And I know I say a lot of people are my favorite people, which I don't know why I'd bring them on here if they weren't. She is for sure my favorite social media coach. You're an Enneagram 8.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So anyone that gives any other Enneagram 8 the permission to just be their own unhinged self, of course I'm going to love them. I will say to y'all that she helps people uncover and own their brand by tapping into their main character energy. Like if I'm going to summarize in one sentence what I feel like she does, that's what she does. So today we're going to talk about her life as a social media coach, how the world she got here, and we're going to give you some really sweet actionable tips that will help you to elevate your own social media to excellence. But first off, how the heck did you even get here? Like how did you get to social media coach? Like what started it all? Because you've been around it. You were in network marketing for 8 years.
Yeah, been around it for a while. And I would say from the very get-go, I tell this story a lot that as soon as Instagram rolled out in like 2012, I loved the app. And I had an Android at the time and it wouldn't get Instagram on it, but my sister had an iPhone. I don't know what it was. This is totally old school. And I just remember begging her to log in on her Instagram because I just was obsessed with the aesthetic of Instagram. And thus started my obsession with that being the app that I prioritize was way back then. And then in 2016 and 17, I got involved in network marketing. And as we know, as network marketers, you got to get on these apps to get that reach. You'd be silly not to. And so I just started dabbling and I truly enjoyed it. I think that's what separates me apart from when I was in network marketing as a mentor and leader was people knew that I truly enjoyed content and I truly could see people's potential with their own content. And then now it's just, it's boiled down to that's just my full-time gig now. It's no longer just, upline coaching. It's just, I just coach, period.
Okay. So when you were in network marketing and you fell in love with the art of content creation, do you feel like that, because you led a large team, but you also sold $87 bajillion in product, right? Do you feel like your love of content creation was very helpful in that?
Yeah, I do. And network marketing is so nuanced and we know that there are a lot of ways to make sales. There are the traditional network marketers that are belly to belly. There are network marketers that just believe in creating Facebook communities and nurturing an existing base in a private community. And then there was me who was like, get your ass on Reels. You need massive, huge reach. Let's go for the big kahuna. And I never once, like I ran a large team, and with that came people that were doing belly to belly makeovers in our, we were in a makeup company. We had those that were just, oh, no, 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 I don't want virality. I have a beautiful customer group. I want to keep it that way. And I never looked down on any of those other avenues of selling, but the
Okay.
Reels factor and using short form video, I guess, is what just appealed to me the most, is grabbing onto that as my own social seller that wanted to sell my product, but also wanted to find my people, wanted to find people that wanted to hang
Mhm.
around me and do the same thing as me, and it worked really well. It
Because
was really
you
well.
like you had like you had unique success, didn't you?
I think so. Yeah, I was never.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I would sell
Like you
really. I would
grew
say.
quicker than most people were growing because you instantly were elevating your reach. Like you weren't trying to
Mhm.
do the one-on-one.
Yeah,
You were.
yeah. So I grabbed on to Reels in 2020, and
Mhm.
I most of my success, if we're being really honest, like
Yeah.
in our company, over at Saint, there we're really skewed. I used to joke that we had
Mhm.
like an eating disorder when it came to sales, because over at Saint we would have we would call them super sellers, and I'm not shitting you. We're talking
Mhm.
they would sell six figures in a month of these pallets. Okay, these are individual consultants that are going
What?
viral via short form video selling six figures. Okay,
Individual humans selling
yes.
six
So that's
figures
so when you
in
ask me,
pallets.
when you ask me, did you have success? I'm like, bitch, not that much. But I was enough to where I could hang. I've gone on
Yeah.
every trip. I compared to if you were to go and grab the average of like Arbonne reps, Senna
Yes.
Jones. Yeah,
Yes.
I would sell anywhere between ten and fifteen
Yeah.
thousand dollars a month, and that's
Yeah.
great. And most of those were from Reels. And so yeah, I had great
Man.
success with that. I had more success with recruiting via my content. So
Do you
yeah.
think that's because you're recruiting? I mean, you're on Instagram, like the Instagram gods connected us
Mm-hmm.
with all the
Wow.
algorithms of all the things. I think like we had
Yeah.
so many people in common from so many different areas of life that it connected us, and instantly it's like that permission personality, right? Like when you find
Mm-hmm.
someone that gives you permission to just like again fly your freak flag, right? Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
listening, she has a neon pink sign above her head right now that says fly your freak flag, which is kind of your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not kind of, it is your thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that do you think that that causes people to instantly love you so much
Mm-hmm.
that they're like, I want to know how to do that? But then you also did
Yeah.
such a great job. I didn't get to follow you very long when you were
Okay.
active in
Yeah.
network marketing,
Mm-hmm.
but you were very instrumental at showing people that if they were in that world, they were going to get teaching as
Mm-hmm.
to how you were doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's an interesting question. It's one that I like to like kind of deconstruct in my own head, is because
Yeah.
if your listeners are hearing me say my reels were really good at recruiting, I want to be really
Yeah.
clear. My reels weren't actually me being like, join my team, make
No.
40% commission. My team's this, I've got these
Yeah.
awards. No, and
Mm-mm.
I actually don't love that at all. I find it's a little distasteful. I know it works for some people, which, hats off to you, but my social media brain is all about finding what actually can work for everyone.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I would just use my reels to find my edge. My freak flag was I love content. So I would teach about content over these years in my own content. It's like a little
Yeah.
Russian doll.
Yeah.
Um, and that attracted a lot of people to me. And then it's almost like my secondary soft sale, which was what I did in network marketing. They
Hmm.
wanted a piece of it. They wanted a piece of whatever pie they could
Yeah.
get that they tasted through my reels, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because like on your stories, it was obvious that there was a community, there was a network,
Mm-hmm.
and if you were a part of it, obviously
Yeah.
people were learning more than just watching you on the internet and kind of doing what
Mm-hmm.
you were doing. Like they were getting
Mm-hmm.
time with you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And they knew that they
Mm-hmm.
could master the art of that if they would
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
join
it'd
that,
be like,
right?
yes, I do this and more in my at my
Yeah,
company, and
yeah.
um, yeah, it was great.
It
I
was
had a
more
little
like the
time.
interaction. I remember seeing a couple trips that you guys had taken.
Hmm.
Not like literally company trips, but like your own retreats. So you were, renting
Yeah.
houses or whatever, like Airbnb-ing it and having people in
Hmm.
there and teaching and learning. And I remember thinking one day like, "Oh my gosh, my mom is so lucky that I love her because I definitely don't wear makeup, but like I would like jump ship right now to go have fun in this house. Like what are these people
Yeah.
even doing? Like that looks like a good time." Okay,
Yeah.
so for you not in network marketing anymore, but you work with a lot of network marketers. You
Yeah.
work with all sorts of people, right? Like I will tell y'all,
Mhm.
she is the one who helped me really whittle down what kind of a brand I wanted to have on my social media, how I wanted to start showing up, definitely what I did not want to do. It gave me permission to just go, never ever in the history of time will you ever see me making reels about washing your face and putting on makeup because I just don't care. Like it's not my thing. I don't care. I love
Yeah.
excellence. I love growth. I love like
Mhm.
digging in, learning more about yourself. Like if there's a personality thing, I know all about it. I love all of
Mhm.
that, but I do not care if you wash your face or put makeup on. I don't care. Like it's just up to you. And she helped me figure that out.
Yeah.
And then that helped me establish my brand. Y'all, she will walk you through an Instagram bio exercise that will help you own your life. I swear.
I love that. I love that
Like
you said that.
that's something
I
alone. Like I think that your membership is worth being a part of to
Yeah.
be in a group where women were helping each other comment each other's like we were each commenting our Instagram bios
No, I
and
love
helping
that.
us whittle that down and then seeing what other women were putting and just having that permission of I'm not putting anything on there about makeup because I don't care about it, but I
Right.
care everything about helping people find clarity and excellence in their life. So I'm going to do
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
instead. And then it was what created and birthed the actual name of this podcast altogether
I love it. I
because it
love
was
it.
refining that dang bio over and
Mhm.
over and over again.
I love it too because bios are like people lose sleep over them, and I honestly think as they should,
They should
because
lose sleep over that. I
because
lost sleep.
well, because honestly, and I think it niggles at people. I think it really kind of gets there, like in their
Hmm.
little brain about it, because it's like, oh, what is that? I think it's
Hmm.
because you are claiming something,
Yeah.
and when people write it down, either they know in their gut that actually ain't me, that actually ain't
Hmm.
me, or they know that they're leaving out a core part of themselves, and then the other
Hmm.
piece is that people you'll put something in there and then you'll just actively contradict it in the content that they make. And so
Yeah.
I actually do think that a bio is a big deal. It's why a lot of my program does focus on like getting clear on your bio because it,
Hmm.
you know, is there a chance you could go viral without a stellar bio? Absolutely. Like totally.
You're not
You
going
could
to stay viral because no
yeah,
one's
yeah,
going to know what you're doing.
you could totally go viral and it doesn't even freaking matter. You could put blah 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 middle finger emoji and you're
Yeah.
gonna still go viral. However, I love Instagram bios simply for the exercise of you proclaiming what you want. And most people on
Hmm.
Instagram selling a product, service, whatever it is, they ain't freaking done that ever.
Yeah.
They ain't,
It's
and so
hanging your shingle, really.
yeah,
Like
it
your
really is.
bio is hanging your shingle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
So
took it
it's a good
very
exercise.
seriously. It did cause me to lose sleep and I did take it very seriously because I felt like it was me proclaiming my identity to the world as of like this is now what I'm doing and how I'm
Mm-hmm.
showing up and
Mm-hmm.
what I'm bringing to the table,
Totally.
you
And
know?
it's
And we do go to I mean, I don't know unless you're just random and you're randomly
mm-hmm.
listening to this for fun. I think the average person that uses Instagram to live their life, like I look at up for restaurants, coaches,
Mm-hmm.
everything, right? Like if I want
Mm-hmm.
to go see some random site in some place I'm visiting, I'm going to look them up on Instagram and see what kind of an
Mm-hmm.
experience it is. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that when you go there and the bio sucks,
Yeah, it's an opportunity to
nobody,
be really clear. Yeah,
yeah.
it really is. And I just
Hmm.
think, I think
Hmm.
a lot of people just have trouble with that. It's so funny. Like just
Hmm.
in coaching, I've coached hundreds, thousands of people, and we would rather. I said this in another episode that I did of my podcast. I said we would rather live in a familiar hell than an unfamiliar heaven. And the
Hmm.
unfamiliar heaven is being like, this is me. This is what I want to do. I'm starting a podcast, you know? It's that in my case, it was quitting network marketing and being like, holy
Hmm.
crap, what are people going to think of me? Oh my gosh, this is my whole identity.
Yeah.
And, um, but I genuinely think as I look at people that I admire, success or people's career that I want or income or whatever, the common denominator is they live in unfamiliar heaven territory, which is the territory of being bold, saying it with your full chest in your
Hmm.
Instagram bio and in your content. So
Hmm.
I'm like,
Hmm.
all right,
Hmm.
let's just go. Let's do it.
Yeah. My husband and I were driving down the road Saturday, like we're like driving down, it's called Riggs right by our house.
Hmm.
And the one of those moments where you're like, I will remember sitting at the stoplight forever and looking at the stoplight. And I said to him, I go, I think that being wildly successful is accepting that you're going to throw up in your mouth every freaking day of your life for the
Hmm.
rest of your life.
Yeah.
every day. Like,
Checks out.
here we are. Like, if we
Checks out.
really want to keep going and we really want to keep growing, here we are throwing up in
Hmm.
our mouth every single
Hmm.
day for the rest of our life, right? Freaked out.
I
And if you're
agree.
not,
Yeah. Then
you
you're
know,
just, it's a
then
low
you're
hum. Hmm.
stagnant. Yeah. So what caused you? I mean, I think there was a lot of things that caused you to
Yeah.
go from make this
Yeah.
hard recent pivot, right? You made a hard
Yeah.
recent pivot from network marketing now
Hmm.
over to being a social media coach
Hmm.
100%. I
Hmm.
know that your previous company, I know a
Hmm.
lot of things shifted in there that made it
Hmm.
where this is what you were going to do. Do you think
Hmm.
that this is something you would have eventually done? Did you feel like you were
Mm.
kind of going there? What
Hmm.
caused you, like, what the heck
Yeah.
happened in the last year?
Totally.
Yeah.
So for the listeners, I was one of there's several network marketing companies that went affiliate mode last year. We got Rodan
Yeah.
and Fields, Color Street, Beachbody.
Hmm.
It's a little bit of an epidemic. And, and so we were one of the lucky, just kidding.
Yeah.
Um, so you ask if I would have done this eventually. And the answer
Yeah.
is no. The answer
Mm.
is absolutely not because, and that's
Yeah.
how I know that it was a God wink. That's how I know that, like, God knew I was not about to go and do this on my own. And so,
Yeah.
you know, these things happen for a reason. That I think that,
Mhm.
well, and I could say that. I kind of get irritated when people give the God answer. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just being totally unfiltered right now. But the reason being is because sometimes you can't argue with it at all. So I don't want anyone thinking that I'm just like saying like, oh,
Mm.
God told me this. But the re God, I
He
absolutely
woke
do
me up
believe.
in the middle of the night and he said, "You're going to be a
I
coach."
know. It's always like God gave me this answer. Okay, whatever. But
Yeah.
I genuinely do feel like that God's hand is in this. Whatever.
Yeah.
Not whatever. Period.
Yeah.
However, hold on. I'm losing my train of thought. So God, yeah, this wouldn't. I
You
just
wouldn't,
flat
you would
out.
still be there. Like, if it
Yeah,
still
I just flat
existed
out wouldn't
in
have.
your
I mean,
team, you would still be
yes,
there. Yes.
absolutely.
Because you
Like
loved
it's
it.
I did love it. I was getting a little tired of it. It was
Yeah.
kind of turning into familiar hell zone.
Yes.
But um in network mark I just cut to the chase. I was a top earner.
Yeah.
Like the income
It was so
was
comfortable.
it was so good and
Yeah.
it was great and
Like,
but
you were
also I
stagnant
did
but comfortable.
what's that?
You were stagnant but comfortable.
Yes, like I was just I was no
Hmm.
longer waking up with like a challenge. It was
Mm.
like um
You weren't throwing up in your mouth every day.
yeah, I wasn't trying to be my slight yawn. But I love the people. I love the product. I love the corporate. It's
Yeah.
just hard. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. But I genuinely think I probably would have been like just a lifer. Like, when you go to conferences and you see the older ladies and you're like, she's been
Yeah.
here for ages. I was locked in and loaded to be one of her.
But I think that's hard. Can you look back and go, I once had somebody say to me, like, I had a friend that shouldn't have been my friend, and then one day
Hmm.
she just wasn't my friend, like, whatever.
Hmm.
And I had a friend then later say, "Woo, look at God, remove from cart." Like, when we won't remove someone
Yeah.
from cart
No,
ourselves, he'll remove it
totally.
from the cart. Like, he will
I
do
do.
that.
And that's I want to be so clear with that like
Yeah.
this it was gut wrenching, like absolutely
Yeah.
gut wrenching for me, like just processing that shock. Because even though I was like comfortable and a little bit stagnant,
Hmm.
that was my family. I mean, and this being in network
Yeah.
marketing that like these people are that you spend time with 3 a.m. Their family traumas. Like you spend so much time on Zoom. You like
Hmm.
just pouring your blood, sweat, and tears. But
Yeah.
as I am like, it's been 7 months now, I think. Um,
Hmm.
I've got fire in my stomach, like in a good way. Like I haven't felt fire like this, where I'm like today I just hopped on and I told you like I just did a training for my membership and I'm getting a ton of questions in my community right now and I'm seeing that I missed the mark a little bit in my training. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta freaking figure this out. Like, I'm like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta make a new slide deck, and then I gotta make a PDF. So, but this right here that I just said,
I love that.
I
I
wasn't
love
feeling
that.
that. I wasn't feeling
Yeah.
that anymore in network
Yeah.
marketing. So, yes, horrible lost income, but
Yeah.
network marketing does make you really strong, and I feel like it's set me up for success. That it all wasn't lost because of the change.
Yeah. It makes you gritty. Like, you can't be successful
Yeah.
without getting really freaking gritty in network
Mhm.
marketing. I think
Mhm.
that what would you say to yourself
Mhm.
a year ago in network marketing where you were so comfortable
Mhm.
but yet kind of in yawn phase? Is there anything that
Mhm.
you could have said to yourself? Like, was there any piece of you at all, like even a 2% piece of you that thought, am I just like over it, but I don't want to own it?
Yeah. No,
Because I think that's hard. I think it's really hard to leave something that's so
I know.
beautiful, so established. You've got friends, you've got income, but yet
Mhm.
it's not challenging you anymore. But
Yeah.
it did make you who you are. So it's like giving such what like giving homage to it, right? Like and so
Mhm.
much gratitude, but allowing yourself to go dream a new dream.
Yeah. No, I couldn't have done that. I'm being so dead serious. The reason being,
Yeah.
let me explain. Let me explain what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Because I, unless I'm not understanding correctly, but I think what you're saying
Yeah.
is like, is there a part of me that could have like went off and like built something on my own?
Yeah.
Kind of like what you're doing here. I
Yeah.
honest to goodness, Chelsea, don't think I could have done it. I am
Yeah.
so I maybe it's like crazy, neurotic, maybe
Yeah.
it's a little OCD. I'm not sure what it is,
Hmm.
but I am like I can't my brain can't do those two things, which we haven't
Hmm.
quite addressed that I did sign up for another company after Saint went out.
Yeah.
And
You
that
did,
I
but then you, yeah.
yeah, I did sign up for another company. I was with them for six
Yeah.
months. It's kind of, but pit in my stomach. I wanted to throw up, but not in the successful way, in the I don't think I'm supposed to be here kind of way.
Hmm.
And here's the thing. Let me just make it so clear to any if
Yeah.
network marketers are listening. You can do multiple things. You
Hmm.
absolutely can. Um, but I just think I'm like that rare little anomaly where I just needed to set something down to full send
Yeah.
something.
But
So
also it was so new. You know what
yeah,
I mean? The one that was new, and I do remember the day it was public, like you said it publicly,
yeah,
how it was like a grief join or something.
totally, it was, yeah, and that's honestly like it's
Well, you
hard.
needed somewhere for people to go. Like
Yeah,
thousands of people looked to you the next day and
totally,
went,
yes,
well, now where are we going? Like now what are we
yeah,
doing? And
and that's
I
a
think that's a little
whole
weight on you. Don't you
That's a
think?
whole yeah, but that's a controversial topic. How do we want to unbox it? I mean, we
Yeah,
don't
I
have to.
think
We can take this
so.
out.
I mean, or you can pineapple. You can. I would say like if I'm going too far, I tell people like pineapple. But
No,
I
it's
think it is because it's such a hot topic right now. I think
we could
there's so
absolutely
many
talk
people
about
out
it, but I
there.
have opinions on it. I have opinion on
Wasn't it
in
Color Street the other day? Like Color Street
yeah,
closed last week, and so you
yeah,
see people jumping left and right, like
I
jumping
know.
to a different company, so they don't lose this ginormous following of
I know.
customers and team
I
members
know.
that they have. So they feel this pressure to make a decision overnight,
I
and it's their
know.
freaking life.
I know. Yeah. The yes, it is a big pressure. And especially too if you know that you are like in network marketing for the long haul. Like you know it's
Yeah.
your career path.
Hmm.
And I just had never really given it too much thought. Like I knew I had like this talent, if you will,
Hmm.
but it was more so just like a party trick. It was more so like, oh, go talk to Jackie. She can help you out with your bio. Go talk to Jackie. She can help you out with figuring out your real strategy. So it was more party trick. And then,
Can we talk about how to turn a party trick into an actual career?
yeah, we
Because
can because
that
I'm
is a
doing
thing. That's a thing. Can we like
totally.
that
Yes.
that is a thing. Like I think that
Yeah, it really
my
is.
the bio exercise that you did helped me
Mm-hmm.
turn my party trick. Like, oh, you're confused and don't know what to do with your life? Go talk to Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, in
Mm-hmm.
your bio helped me turn a party trick into a career.
I love it. We gotta write that down. That's a
We
good
gotta
one.
write that down.
Um,
Okay.
So, anyways, when this happened for me, I did sign up for another company.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these people most of these network marketing leaders that are signing up for another company, it's a little bit is out of grief, a little bit is out of panic, and then a little bit of it is because of, no, I want this career. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, I remember talking to my brother who's in corporate America, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, if this is corporate America, like move on, sister. Like, let's go. You can't just take this
I
whole
know.
like cry on your reels for 15 reels. So, we kind of,
Watch me.
yeah, I'm like, hold my beer, I will. But yeah, so there's that whole mentality.
Hmm.
However, so I did do that. I don't judge it. I don't judge other people doing it. But
No.
if
Because
I could have,
everyone's doing it for a different reason.
they are. If I could have just taken a minute though for my true self and been like,
Yeah.
almost like if I wish that they would have done this. Here we go. You're not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to sign up for another thing for at least 6 weeks. Like you had to like be in agreement.
Mm,
I don't
yeah.
know. I feel like then I could have made a little bit more, but
Yeah.
it is hard. You're so like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
happening.
Would you
This
go
is
back
happening.
and say 6 weeks? You know how they say like if you're once you get divorced, like you need to be for every year you were married, you should be single
Yeah,
this many months. Like, are
yeah.
you like, okay, for every year that you were in network marketing, you need to sit out a week.
Yeah,
and actually
just
think
give
about
yourself.
this.
But it's hard though. Let's be so for real because
I mean, because
people are
it's so
signing
hard.
up. And are you signing up? Are you getting your, it's just the whole thing.
It
Scares
is
people.
money, and it is like I can see where the thought of every day I'm not going somewhere new, somebody that's on my team is joining somebody else for the sake
Oh,
of
yeah.
certainty. And that's a
Yeah.
thing. Like, so that's why I have zero judgment against people that
I
do it. Like,
know.
I
Yeah,
absolutely
you
get
just
it.
gotta go. Hmm.
Yeah, you've got to do something. You've got to go somewhere. You've got to figure something out. So then what happened? What happened to
Hmm.
make you just go? So that happened in like, right? Was it June 30th?
Yeah, July.
Your corporate, your network marketing corporate made an announcement.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
made it, they literally made an announcement. Like it was a public
Yep.
announcement to the
Yep.
world
Hmm.
that now this is going to be done. There was a
Hmm.
hot moment. You joined another network marketing
Hmm.
company, and then you did do our main character energy.
Yeah,
What was
I
it?
did do
We
some
did it for
kind
like
of that.
6 weeks. Yeah, you had
Yeah.
that. You
Hmm.
had that. We all instantly signed up. I was like,
Hmm.
barely know who this chick is, but like,
Yeah.
it was the greatest timing. I
Hmm.
signed up all in the same time. I had signed up for, I'd already joined Jenna Kutcher's podcast
Oh,
course.
good. Yeah.
I had signed up to do an extra endorsement for the Enneagram. And I signed up to with Amy Porterfield's like course on courses, like learning how to do courses from like the course queen. And
Yes.
within 24 hours, I did all of this. And
I
then
love it.
you would put your thing up, and I was like, "Yep, got to learn how to
I'm
do
in.
that too. Teach me how to do social media. Teach me how to be
I
great,
love it.
Jackie." So
Yeah.
within 24 hours, I did all that. So it was like the most crazy timing that you
It
just threw it
is.
up there for me.
I
So
love
we did
it.
that. So what? How did you get from? I joined a
Hmm.
new network marketing company. I'm giving
Hmm.
all these things a try. You started doing some one-on-one coaching with some
Hmm.
people, which you don't do
Hmm.
very much of.
Not a
No,
ton. It's
no.
pretty down low.
Very, very like basically
Exclusive is the word
like
I
one
would use.
client a month, kind of exclusive.
Basically, yeah.
Yes,
And
basically
it's
one client
yeah.
a month. What made you realize like no?
Hmm.
I know because there was
Yeah.
one day on your Instagram I remember you saying um how like you there's nothing that compares to the transformation of women in
Hmm.
network marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But how'd you get from there to here?
I know, right? I'm so
Yeah.
full of it. I'm not. I actually do believe it. I actually still believe that network marketing
Mm,
is something that there is going to be a transformation
hmm.
that I give people in my coaching that is
Yeah.
just different. It's just a different kind of love. It's let's talk about it cuz yeah, oh my
Can
gosh,
we
it's
talk about how hard it is if you want to?
yeah.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
I because I think it's hard. Let's talk about how it's really challenging to create boundaries when you come from a network marketing background and then you go into the
Mhm.
coaching world.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, let's just
That's
start with
hard. It's a hard
yeah.
shift.
So the transformation that you create is amazing, incredible, nothing like it. That's
Hmm.
why I was such a blubbering mess when this all happened, is because
Hmm.
it felt like my own children were being ripped from me, like,
Hmm.
just whatever, very, very traumatic. However, um, there is also something to know about network marketing, and that is sometimes the lack of boundaries. So, with this great love and this transformation that you give,
Yeah.
and you don't even realize it because you're so close to it. I don't feel like I really saw it until I went through therapy in
No.
October,
Yeah.
and October, November, December, January. I really started to realize that, and I've said this a few times, and I'll say it again, is
Hmm.
just because you're really good at it, which I am. I feel like I'm pretty dang good at reading people, getting to know them, sitting down with
Hmm.
them, making them feel special and see their potential and all of that. I was really
Hmm.
good at it, but through that. As a leader, you deplete. They're just. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a boundary. I don't know if it's. I
You
don't know
become
what it is.
so bottomless.
Yeah, it is, and because you want to give, and because in network marketing, um,
Yeah.
the mindset is as a leader, leaders eat last, and
Yep.
leaders do everything, and
Yep.
leaders lead by example. It's very much like a tired mom mentality, but you're
Yeah.
also not because you're making great money, but it's
And there is always kind of an underlying fear of like you need to show up for these people so they feel
yeah,
equipped to perform. Like
mm-hmm,
I know that you shouldn't, right? We've done all the therapy to know that you shouldn't, but you
mm-hmm.
do feel very directly connected
Because you
to,
love them. It goes back to that unconditional love,
yeah,
even whether they're, it's almost like an
everybody's your
arrangement.
best friend and sister in a way. Like,
Yeah, well, I'm on this whole thing of where I'm like labeling things by book tropes. because I read books so much. So this is the trope of arranged marriage. So when you have a downline and an upline, it's an arranged marriage, but you fall in love. And then you're like,
Yes.
wait, but even though we are an arranged marriage and you randomly signed up with me on Instagram or your
Oh
upline was a
my God.
dud and you rolled up to me, you have this arranged marriage love and you all of a sudden are just like, oh my gosh, but I love you.
Yeah,
And
codependency and all.
it is. So, listen, we could go for hours and hours upon it, but honestly,
Love it.
any job is like this is going to have
Yes.
toxic things, no
Yes.
boundaries, whatever. But
Yes.
all that to
Yes.
say, I love the transformation that you offer in network marketing. I will say that probably the transformation I offer in coaching will be different.
Mhm.
I won't say that I won't not
Yeah.
have one. I will have one. It just is going to
Oh
look
my
different
gosh, you have
than if I
one.
was just someone's upline. But I
Yes.
just knew it in my bones. It was like two opposite ends of a magnet as I'm at this
Mhm.
other company after Saint that I was just like, there's like a physical block that I just can't make
Mm.
myself do it again.
Yeah.
And I feel like just like my work is done. Like I
Yeah.
know that I'm a great leader and I know what I did at Saint was just so transformational and I loved it. And I just kind of want to
Mhm.
close that up. And now I want to open up this new box of party
Yeah.
tricks.
Well, I think what you did was, I think that you owned your pivot in such a beautiful spot because I think a lot of people, like I can say for myself, if ever there was a time where I probably should have made a hard and fast pivot, like from network marketing over to coaching, just hard and fast, was probably like the beginning of 2017. Like I probably should have
Mhm.
owned it hard and fast. And I'd been in it about 8 years, and I
Mm.
know, like,
Mhm.
if you don't get into the Bible, then whatever with this statement, but you can, I'm sure you can figure it out somewhere else with your woo-woo-ness of whatever. But like biblically, the number 7 is completion and 8 is new beginnings.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
remember looking at that and pride went,
Wow.
no, 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 we are not done here. We are not done
Mhm.
here. We are going to figure this out because a lot of it was just circumstantial. I was like annoyed with people and mad with people. And it was like, no, this situation isn't going to keep me from being successful. Like I'm going to dig in my heels. I'm going to figure it out anyways. And I can look
Mhm.
back now and I think I would have saved myself hundreds of thousands of dollars in actual money in therapy if I would have
Mhm.
pivoted then. So like
Mhm.
watching you, even though it's so gut wrenching, own your
Mhm.
pivot has
Mhm.
been so beautiful. And I think
Oh,
permission
thanks.
giving for so many people,
Yeah. No,
you know?
it's definitely it's a lot. It's scary. I think even as I like because I had called
Hmm.
um, some of the key, like the leaders that I had to let them know
Yeah.
before I sent in my resignation. Um, I even was like, "Am I doing this? Am I really like quitting? Like, am I really like ending
Mhm.
network?" Like, it wasn't like I was kicking and screaming, but it was like it was again that familiar hell, unfamiliar
Mhm.
heaven. Like, I'm
Mm.
like, no, I can stay in this. And again, there are
Mhm.
plenty of examples of other network marketers that stay in and do a
Mhm.
coaching thing. I just
Yeah.
think I don't know. My brain is broken. Like, I just have to
Yeah.
be someone that like sets something down and then full sends. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I do think there is, I work with a human design coach.
Hmm.
And there is, I mean, if you believe it, there is different personalities where there are
Hmm.
some people that just really need to own one thing and blow it up. And then there are other
And I think
people,
I think I'm a generator or something like that. And I'm pretty sure that
yeah.
they are like the little worker bee. And
Hmm.
I'll work
They're
till the
all
cows
about
come home.
mastery. They're about
Yeah.
mastering the thing that is currently in front of them.
Hmm. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
mastering
it.
like what lights you on fire and makes you hungry and makes you go after it.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm a projector. We just don't really have the energy for a split mind too much. So I'm always asking my coach, like, am I pushing that line? Because I think I'm pushing the line. So I hired a full-time employee to like help
Yeah.
me manage my life a little bit better so I can push the line a little bit further.
I love
But
it.
yeah,
I'm here
yeah.
for it.
I love it. But I always want people to know that even though your network marketing career has ended, it's not because you didn't love it. You absolutely loved it. It
Whoa.
was the most beautiful thing. You're absolutely
Absolutely.
brilliant at building it. But also, never put her, I don't ever want anybody to put you in a box like you can only coach network marketing because for sure that
Hmm.
group that we had, that like cohort group that we
Hmm.
had this fall,
Hmm.
I mean,
Isn't that sad?
forever you will be the person that took me from trying to figure out how to make myself make videos about washing my face and doing makeup to like, oh my gosh, you're a lifestyle brand. If you love the book, you're sharing it. If you love the electrolytes, you're sharing it. If you love the air fryer, you're sharing it. Like,
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
just a more of like a lifestyle brand influencer
Yeah.
who actually loves growth more than she loves anything else.
I love that you're saying this, and it's such a powerful conversation. I don't know if we have time for this conversation.
Caroline, we're gonna need you to split. Caroline's
But
my assistant, guys, so that's why we talked to her. You're gonna need to split this in 2 episodes.
yeah, well, because it's like
Yeah.
it's a taboo topic, and maybe it's not. And
Yeah.
as I have stepped back from network marketing and pulled myself and been able to like almost get a bird's eye view of
Mm-hmm.
the industry, I have noticed there are a lot of people in network marketing that would be probably better being solopreneurs, or they would probably be better being a course creator, or they'd probably be better as a VA. And I'm like, but I'm not ready to bring that topic to my podcast yet or my live videos. I'm chewing on it. But as I
Yeah.
observe people, in your situation too, and in that main character energy container we did last fall,
Yeah.
there were just some people where I'm like, you are trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Like you are trying
Mm-hmm.
to force this product
Mm-hmm.
that makes you feel good because the team Zooms are super motivated. I mean, there were people hell
Yeah.
with me at Saint where they loved my energy and they wanted to come, but they're like, I don't give a shit about makeup, Jackie. I don't give a shit. And
No.
so that's again another reason why I am so glad being
Yeah.
in this new space where I can literally coach, a real estate
Anyone.
agent, an Etsy shop owner, a coach, someone in network marketing, and it gives me a little bit more free reign. However, back to that thing in network marketing that sometimes we are pushing so hard for something
Yeah.
when someone probably is better off being a UGC
Yeah.
creator or someone
And
that,
it was network marketing though that helped me realize my obsession
it
with growth.
was,
I could
yes.
have never been.
Yeah.
I could
Mhm.
never in my life be
Yeah.
where I'm at. I would
Oh, no.
never. I wouldn't even probably have social media. I remember there was a day where I thought, oh my God, there's so much freaking drama all over
Mhm.
Facebook and Instagram. If I didn't need it for
Mhm.
my job, I wouldn't even have it at all. I'm
Mhm.
so detached from Facebook, whatever. And then, you get into network marketing and you're like, now I eat, sleep, and breathe this.
This device,
This is
yeah.
my life. This is my
Mhm.
life right here. I eat,
Right.
sleep, and breathe it, and the app's on it.
Mhm.
And I don't know, so I would never be here
Without it.
without
Yeah.
it.
No, I
Absolutely.
totally agree. I
And
totally
like think about
agree.
the growth because our
Yeah.
drive to be successful in it causes us to figure it out. Like your desire to also be successful in that, like you loved content creation, right? Like I
Mhm.
love personal growth, but
Mhm.
your desire to be successful in network marketing
Mhm.
is what caused you to be really freaking great at it and figure out what worked
Right.
and didn't.
Right. Yeah. No, that's so true. I
Mhm.
I can only speak good things about it. In terms of like it built me into the person I am. And I think
Yeah.
that um that's the amount of self-development you consume. I mean, the
Yeah.
amount of like just even knowing how to push for sales goals. Yeah, it's all super transferable skills. And I feel like
But
that's
yeah.
uh but I mean, I don't even know where I heard it said. I feel like I've had a friend that's told me this before, but sometimes, for some people, and this isn't true for everyone, sometimes people are meant to stay in network marketing forever. But
Mm,
for some people, it is the gateway drug to, you know, moving
mm.
into another space. And I 100% would not be doing a main character energy membership if it wasn't for my network marketing backbone.
Well, don't you think it was your incubator?
Yeah. Yeah,
It
for
was your
sure.
incubator to
Totally.
figuring out how to help people be wildly successful with
Mhm.
their main character energy. Okay, wait, will
Mhm.
you explain that a second? If anyone's listening, and you're like,
Yeah.
they
Oh
keep
my gosh.
saying MCE, they
Oh
keep
my gosh.
saying main
Let's
character
explain it.
energy. Like, what the heck is main character
Oh my
energy? What does
gosh.
that even mean? Yeah.
Totally. Totally. So, first of all, I always use the analogy of like a video game, and in video games, there are
Mm-hmm.
NPCs. What do they stand? It stands for like what? Non-people characters? Non-people characters. It's
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Something like
The
whatever.
ra the random people in it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just the random people milling about.
Yep.
And a lot of times when I look at people's social media, when they're like, Jackie, why am I not either A, not growing, B, not making sales? And I'm like, you're giving off NPC energy on freaking Grand Theft Auto. Like, you are just the random person walking
Mm-hmm.
alongside the road. And then we
Mm-hmm.
have main character energy, which is like Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. Like,
Yep.
she's just like, ray of sunshine. Hello. What? I got into Harvard. Like, it's hard. Like, it's just this fun. I'm the star of the show. Hello.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um, and I genuinely feel like in network marketing, it's really
Mm.
people have a hard time is tapping into that because you sell the same product as everyone. It's
Yep.
really easy to go into a Canva or a Telegram or a WhatsApp channel and just grab stock graphics that your company has. They put out for a
Yep.
sale that happened today. It's really easy to screenshot your upline stuff and be like, I'm going to repost this as mine
Oh
and
my
give off.
gosh.
No, it's
Stop
a real
doing that.
epidemic. Are you
Stop
kidding
doing
me?
that. Stop
This
screenshotting and copying
right.
and pasting
But
and re oh,
it's
stop
a
doing
thing
that.
though. So
It is
again,
a
going back to
thing.
toxic
Yeah.
things that are taught in network marketing, because
Yeah.
duplication is taught. Again,
Yeah.
there's so many things we can
Yeah.
unpack, but that can be something that is also hard. So people
Mhm.
just do that thing and they forget
Mhm.
to touch grass and be like, wait, who am I before I started
Mhm.
selling this can of Coke or
Yep.
like whatever, like oils, whatever. Who
Mhm.
am I before that? And my whole job as I run this content
Mm.
club membership is reminding people on who that is, because that person, when she's amplified, can sell the crap out of anything. And
Yep.
that's because again, going back to the God piece, I believe that every person on this earth has divinity
Absolutely.
within them, and they just don't know how to put that into their marketing, and they're just
Yeah.
downplaying it because it feels safer to sit on the bench than it does to get out on the field and claim that power on Instagram. So that's main character energy in a nutshell.
Yeah. Okay, how did you figure out that you were, I mean, I feel like at least in this era of your life that you were born to teach that. Like if you
Mm,
believe in God, I
yeah.
do. I'm like
Yeah.
God literally created this woman to
Mm-hmm.
teach the art of main
Mm-hmm.
character energy in
Mm-hmm.
this time.
Mm-hmm.
Like for such
Mm-hmm.
a time as specifically this in our
Mm-hmm.
world where we've been around social media now for it's been around for 2 decades, but we've really been using it. We've been monetizing it now for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
Mm-hmm.
teaching people how to stand out. How
Mm-hmm.
did you figure out,
Yeah.
like, holy crap, I'm not just like
Yeah.
I'm kind of good at this, like better than most people.
Yeah. No, I like that. So number one, I think I am just bossy. You and I are
Hmm.
like, we're just pretty, like, I am pretty bossy. I like
Yeah.
to call it like it is.
Hmm.
Um, like, so there's that. But I would say the top of the list for me is it's important for me to teach people the skill of making money. So I grew up not having money, 10 brothers and sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and just, I mean, I don't want to do like the whole sob story, but like
Yeah.
genuinely, like no extra funds for me to like attend dance classes, have nice clothes, like just things
Hmm.
like that, I mean, can be a form of trauma.
No
And
wonder you love network marketing.
yeah,
Well, because
yeah.
nothing, I mean, as somebody who's grown up in network marketing, there's
Hmm.
nothing like network marketing that teaches a mom how to make
Hmm.
an extra $100 so their
Totally.
kid can
Right.
go do the thing.
Absolutely. No,
Mm,
I think it's like my Roman Empire, as I think about too
mm-hmm,
when growing up, my mom would make cinnamon rolls for, my
mm-hmm,
mom was very domestic. So she would make cinnamon rolls for like her
mm-hmm,
people in our church so that she could make an extra,
mm-hmm.
$100, whatever it may be. Or back in the 90s, there were these like little surveys. You would take them for like $1 and then you'd send them back. And I remember watching my mom do that. And I don't know, made an
Mm-hmm.
impression on my heart that I was like, I am going to learn how to have a skill. Granted, I did
Mm-hmm.
go to school and all that, but I definitely feel
Yeah.
like network marketing it is something that the everyday woman can tap into. And if she really
Yeah.
is aligned with the company, it can be amazing. So that money factor is there for
Mm-hmm.
me. But then
Mm-hmm.
also, back to my Enneagram 8, is I have a big thing for the underdog. And so growing up too, I feel like I was a dork. I genuinely was. Like I wasn't a cool girl, nothing like that. But I had a little bit of
Yeah.
a chip on my shoulder, and to a healthy
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
And it made me it's like it always made me want to bring people up with me, where I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
we're not gonna be nerdy girls, we're gonna be the cool girl. Like, I don't know how, it's probably not landing what I'm saying,
No,
but
when I was in fourth grade, there were four of us that were so bullied by this
yeah,
girl. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, screw you. And I took
yeah.
those three and I went to the teacher
Mhm.
and said, we're going to start doing a class newspaper while everybody else is doing this. Can we go sit in the utility room and like make this class newspaper every
Exactly. So
week? And I think the teacher felt bad for us. And she was like, absolutely.
essentially that same energy, like my story
Yes.
is probably similar to that, where it's like I was never like the pretty cool girl, but
No.
I was like, right, but I was more aware, but I was aware of what was happening. And so I would gather up the other people and the outliers, and I'm like, we ain't
All
taking their shit.
misfits.
Yeah, so
We're getting off this island.
that's a lot of what essentially my main character energy container is, because
The queen of the
I do have.
misfit island.
Yeah. No, I do, because that's why I was such a
Yes.
fierce leader, is because
Hmm.
I was not one who wanted to sell a crap ton of
Hmm.
my product. Why? Because I'm an influencer? No, I want to
Hmm.
duplicate. I want to take the average woman, make
Yes.
her be
Yes.
able to have success. And so same thing too with main character
Yeah.
energy container. It's like I see all these influencers popping off on Instagram, and I was like,
Hmm.
no, everyone sit down, shut up. I'm going to teach you what they're doing, because they're not going to tell you See, look at me get fired
No.
up. I'm already getting fired up.
I love it.
Because this is what it frustrates me.
Yes.
Because I don't
Yes.
the gatekeepiness of like, this is what pretty girls do. It's like, shut up and tell me what your shampoo is. You know, and that's
An 8. An 8 is like, rip back this curtain. What is
going
actually
on.
happening back
Yeah,
here?
and
What
that's
is
what I
going
want
on?
to unpack for
Let me
people.
tell
It's like,
you.
how are they
Yes.
growing? Why is their reel viral?
Yes.
What's
Yes.
happening? Did their target audience do this? Like, and I just feel like that information should be accessible, regardless of the tax bracket, the way someone looks, the how nice or mean their husband is, like how old they are or not. Like, that's the main
Yeah.
character energy that I want people tapping into, and I genuinely feel like I can foster that in that membership, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. You do. You do.
I'm crazy.
I think
know.
you do. And I think that it's no matter the industry. It doesn't matter what you do at all. If you want to show up different and or better on social media, being in your main character energy container membership. Get the membership, guys. Get the membership. The links are in the show notes of everything, however you're listening to this. Somebody's going to learn something. They absolutely will. That will elevate their brand. I mean, just following you for free on social media alone, I'm so annoyed with you because last week that you were like, oh, use this sound? And I was like, oh, okay. And so I did, and I was like, oh, great. Reel does 10 times better than the other ones. I hate you. Go away. Like, oh my God. And then this morning, my own assistant goes, you need to do more reels like this one and this one because they did so much better. And I was like, that's actually because I just did what Jackie told me to do on those, but thanks.
Stop. I love
I
it.
swear to you, I swear she was like, no, 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 no. And I was like, yeah, she goes, these last 2 reels. And I was like, I am aware of what you're talking about. Yeah, those are actually Jackie idea reels. So
I'm here for it. That's what I live for.
yeah. She's like, Jackie, that you're getting on with. I'm like, yeah, yep, yes,
Many
ma'am.
ideas.
Yep, that Jackie. So, okay. So to wrap this up, 2 things. First of all, what are 2 to 3 easy but game-changing tips to help someone elevate their Instagram to excellence? 2 to 3 simple things they could do that are just like taking it up a notch. And you guys, this is just, so you know, this is like a little awesome thing that you could get 10 times more of in her membership.
No, you know what? I'll just tell you what I'm about to, because after my training today, my brain's just been ticking because I want to make this tangible for a lot of my container is network marketers. I need them to understand how to stop being beta energy, which is just like, I got to sell my product. And I want them to be the main character energy that I'm after. Anyway, so today I taught on the 5 types of content someone should do, but so many questions came afterwards. And so I'm already thinking of a new challenge, if you will, that I'm going to do with them. And so I'll tell your audiences because I really think it's super helpful. And I think it's helpful whether you are a photographer, real estate agent, Etsy shop owner, like whatever. I don't care what you guys do.
Your husband's a real estate agent, so you're very grounded in other industries.
You're in that realm. But
I want to move to
think,
Idaho every day.
Do it. Get up here. Get up here.
Every day I'm like, we should move to Idaho. My husband's like, stop watching Jackie's husband's reel.
No, I just need to come see you when I come to Arizona next. So this is my challenge. And honestly, I feel like this is just like the number one thing. I don't even think like we need 3. We just need this because this is like magical. My friend helped me come up with this, by the way. I have to give her credit. Her name is Paige Sevier. I'll give her like little show notes. Strip away your product. Strip away your offer and do it for 30 to 60 days. And create content from a space of who are you? And this is so uncomfortable for so many, especially for moms, because we're like, I don't know who I am. No, you do. You do. Who are you? And I want you to make content like that. I want you to, and it can still be touching, if you will, the realm of what you're selling. So if you sell Mary Kay, we can still teach women how to properly place blush if they have fuller cheeks. We can teach women how to, wash their face at night with certain ingredients and why. We're not selling time-wise, we're selling something else. So, but I genuinely think, and I want to say with my full chest, this is half of people's issue, is that they will not just relax. Just freaking relax. Step into you, not you, I'm a manager at Mary Kay. I'm an Amari partner. I'm an affiliate for whatever. It's just stop. You're making it so strange to even be breathing the same air as you, let alone following your feed. But if you would just take yourself on a challenge of creating for 30 to 60 reels, just like even the relevant content that's doing well right now. Like, come to
Yeah.
Hobby Lobby with me and we're going to make my husband a Valentine's Day card. Like, come to Trader Joe's with me. I'm on a clean eating challenge where I'm not eating X, Y, and Z ingredients. Come shopping with me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of shit I think is missing. And it like sends me to my grave because it's like so point blank to my brain. I'm like, so I have to
This
like,
is what my assistant was saying this morning, though. She's like, your lifestyle stuff does a million times better.
I
Like,
know
yes,
because
we've got to put sneak peeks of your
I think
podcast.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah,
learn.
yeah, yeah. She's like, but you've got to make more reels of
Yeah.
like, this is what I'm doing today. Like when I went to the freaking grocery store the other day and bought an overflowing Costco cart of crap
Mm-hmm.
for our
Mm-hmm.
boys' soccer booster dinner so I could cook
Yeah.
70 pounds of pot
Yes.
roast.
But come do that with me, real
Pork roast.
style.
Yes.
Like start
Yes.
that reel out. But I swear that's what's like missing because again, I am a
Yep.
big pattern recognizer. I spend a lot of time
Mm-hmm.
on the algorithm looking what's
Mm-hmm.
doing well. And if I'm gonna pull up the like I can pull it up right now in the explore page, and I promise you, no one is
Yep.
like doing QVC style. Like, here's what you need. You need these essential oils, and you need this. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's going to happen. And trust me, you guys, like if you're listening and you're like, this girl says she's going to help me make sales, but she hasn't met, you will, but
You
you
will.
have to first come home to yourself and like
Mm-hmm.
get in your own skin and know what
Mhm.
it's like to show
Mhm.
up like
Mhm.
just being yourself, and then we can bring it back in. But unfortunately,
Mhm.
because of network marketing, sometimes it's just like post these graphics, do this, copy my
Yeah.
reel. Like, everything's so duplicated that it loses your freak
Yeah.
flag. It loses who you are. So that's what I would say to stand out.
Yeah. And can we all agree no one wants to follow the person that only posts
They
ads
don't.
about their
No.
sale. Like no one wants to follow you if all you're posting is like information about you and your sale.
Hmm.
No one
No, I
cares.
mean, I
Like you've
think
got to be giving value.
I follow this girl that makes magnets, and I'm obsessed with her. She's actually a Roman Empire of mine. She makes these magnets of like you can send her your family pictures, and she makes these magnets. And that
Hmm.
girl, you should link her in your show notes because
Yeah.
talk about knowing how to romanticize your whole thing, your life. Her whole feed is hardly selling, but she's got like I want to say like 200,000 followers.
Yeah.
And she does these income reports where she says that she's making 25 grand a month. Y'all, there's the magnet maker. We all might need to invest in it
What?
as a backup. It's like the banana stand from Arrested Development because that's what I always tell my husband. I'm like, hey,
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh,
there's
who
always
owns the
money in the
banana
magnet
stand?
maker girl's business. But she tells a story and she comes home to herself and she relaxes. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yep.
like people don't want to just be sold a magnet. They don't want to just be sold your product. Bring me along on something. Who are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
So that's my punchline to just
Yeah.
standing out.
But I think people don't know who they are.
I know, and that one is going to be my next thing I said, which is that's a whole another
That's a
podcast for another
whole
day.
different
Which is
exercise.
why, as women, do we not feel like we can take up space? Why do we feel like we can't be seen? Why are we embarrassed to film in front of our husband? Y'all, I already know. Come to the main character energy membership because I'll walk you through
Yeah.
all of that
Yeah.
because it's an elephant in the room, which is just the
Yeah.
embarrassment and shame we feel from being like, hey, I have an idea. Can I post this?
And I think you can feel it at any level. Like I think that Enneagram 8s I think we're born coming out of the womb like very, very confident. It's the coolest
Hmm.
thing. I'm so grateful about it.
Hmm.
But this past fall when we were going through that and we were having your class, you had talked about how not to be ashamed being
Hmm.
ridiculous in front of certain people. And I said to my husband, I said, I have no shame in any area of my life, and I never have. But for some reason, when I think about this podcast, I think about insert this friend that I've had since
Hmm.
college, and I go, and I don't know why. I just know the moment I put it out there to the world, she's going to have
Hmm.
so much to say, but not to me and not in our friend group texts, but like to
Hmm.
all our other friends individually.
Totally.
And very randomly, I don't know, I must have done something to make her mad. I don't know. I swear I didn't say that public before then. But
Hmm.
I'm like, last week I had my birthday and I told my son, I'm like, guess who I did not hear from on my birthday? But I was so afraid of the
Yeah.
comments she was going to be making behind my back.
Hmm.
And like now
Hmm.
apparently I've made her, I mean, an 8, I can make anybody mad easily, I guess. Now I made her, I mean, I don't even know what I did. I couldn't even
No.
tell you. Like, I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know what I did, but like apparently enough that she wouldn't even wish me happy birthday. And she was the one person
Hmm.
I was just so afraid of her
Yeah.
comments. So it's like, well, shit, you might as well just do it anyways.
Yeah. I think.
You know, like it's so
Yeah.
weird.
No, I
Like,
totally get that. I totally get that. I just
I think we all
assume
have
it's
somebody. You know, we all have somebody that we're like, oh my God,
yeah.
they're gonna have so much to say.
No, I'm toxically on that side. Like my husband thinks I'm a pessimist. People think I'm so inspiring, but the more that they probably listen to me, they're like, "Oh, she's kind of pessimistic." I just assume I don't know. I just
Yeah.
assume that most people don't talk well of me, and that's
Yeah.
not like. But I know the list of people that do talk well of me is longer.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
like every time I post a reel, I I toxically will think the first four sends are me going to group chats, and but like I've made peace with it. And then
But
I
I don't even think it's negative or toxic. I think you're very grounded in reality
Yeah,
of the
no,
people
I
that are
think I
out
know.
there
I think I know
that,
that. But this is I'll
yeah.
end with this because I think it is important. Again, I'm
Hmm.
such a pattern recognizer. I will look
Hmm.
at um just anyone that's doing well. Like let's take
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn. Go.
Hmm.
We're gonna go with Theo Vaughn. Do you know him, the comedian?
No.
You don't know Theo
No.
Vaughn? Oh my gosh.
Do I know
Okay,
Theo Vaughn?
Theo Vaughn. You
I'm
might.
really bad at names. Only
He's
about Theo
actually
Vaughn.
he's pretty he's probably been canceled, but he doesn't care type comedian. Anyways,
Oh,
so there's Theo
oh,
Vaughn. But take Theo Vaughn, take Taylor
yeah.
Swift, take who do we want to take that's like on everyone's side? I don't know. All of these people, and then let's even throw in some Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay,
know him.
yes.
He's the
I
whole
know
known.
who Theo Vaughn is because
Yeah,
yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's saying that stuff in public. And my
I
husband was like, oh,
know.
that's his thing. My husband's like, his
Yeah,
thing is like, he like doesn't care. And I'm like,
yes, he is.
I
He is.
love this
Yeah,
man.
he's insane. He probably he has some out of pocket stuff he says, but
He also
I
has
look at
7.5 million
yeah,
followers.
the guy is balling. Okay, he was actually so funny.
Yeah.
I saw him here in Boise too. But
Yeah.
I look at him and anyone who's
Hmm.
following, I covet.
Hmm.
Just that I'm like, oh, I want that, or they
Hmm.
house my target audience and they're better than me. They're making more money than me, whatever it may
Hmm.
be. And the common thread, again, my pattern recognizer in my brain is they are willing to be misunderstood. Period.
Yep.
And
They don't
that
care.
is what so every time that I think, like I released a podcast last week where I was like, damn, I'm really kind of getting vulnerable. I'm sure it made it in a group chat. I'm certain of it. I'm
Oh,
certain.
yeah.
I'm certain my reels of me. I mean, I already know I'm on YouTube, featured by the anti MLMers, like from crying in my
Hmm.
reels. Like it happens. But
Yeah.
with everything that is a front facing, like, and I think we don't process that enough as women in business.
Hmm.
Is that the version of you making 200 grand a year? She's misunderstood. A group chat has dropped her. Like
Yeah.
those are them facts. The people in your church they do. Some of them are side eyeing you. They are afraid of you. And I just feel like it's just very 1+1 = 2, like
I
Enneagram
know.
8 brain, where I'm like, yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay that price because it means that my kids are gonna have a kick-ass childhood. I'm
Yes.
gonna reach for the goals that I want, and I
Yeah.
don't know. I think
You
you
just
just have
gotta
to
be
be
a little unhinged and not care.
the
I woke up this
unhinged.
morning, my aunt and uncle were visiting this morning, and he was making coffee, and he goes, "Oh yeah, your aunt had me listen to this one clip, and it was about his late wife." And I was like, "Right,
Hmm.
yes, I
Hmm.
did get vulnerable on the
Hmm.
internet about
Yeah.
that, and my family has access to the internet.
Yes, they
Right,
do.
I did do
Yeah.
that,
Yes. And they
hmm
can. Yeah. No, I know. I think about
and I
that
would do
too.
it again."
Totally. I think of how my Facebook houses Jackie when I graduated high school and was like,
Oh,
it has like
yeah,
a lot of my very like churchy people, and
yep,
then the people that knew me in college, and then the people who knew me like these days are like, and then I the other day I was posting a reel me
yeah.
taking off a belt. It was like it was a sexy dance. It was like a little naughty dance. I was like, I wonder what my childhood bishop thinks of this. Because he is my Facebook friend. But you know what? I'm willing to be misunderstood because I still have religion, even though it appears I don't. But you know what I just say to myself? I just say, that's showbiz. That's showbiz.
I'm gonna say that for now. That's
You just
showbiz.
say it.
That's
It just
showbiz.
writes it all
That's
off.
showbiz.
Hmm.
My husband only has one request. He's like, I love my job. Please don't get me fired from my job. Like you can be
Yeah.
unhinged in every area of your
But,
life,
mhm.
but
But please
do
don't.
not.
Yeah.
He works for a school, so he's like,
Yeah.
do
He's
not
like,
get me fired
please,
from my
not too
job.
much. Not too much. Totally
I
get
know.
that.
So I just have to bring a lot of cookies and donuts, and then everybody's fine.
And then everything's fine. Yeah.
Everything's fine. Just a lot of twisted sugar being brought to the school.
Oh my
Hi,
gosh.
guys, an episode's coming out tomorrow. Everybody had their free twisted sugar. How's it going? No.
I love it.
Okay. So, okay, I think we kind of gave it, but is there any
Yes.
other last thing? Is there any other
No,
last
that's it.
permission that you would like to give women that you think holds them back from stepping into their main character energy?
This one's just on the tip of my tongue. You're asking me
Yeah.
all these opinions, so you know I'm going to give them to you. This one's on the tip of my tongue. More women in business, in network marketing, that have something on Instagram they're trying
Yeah.
to sell and share, need to have a freaking sit down talk with their whole freaking family and their husband and claim it. I'm so sick of these DMs of these women telling me that like their husband thinks it's dumb, their sons make
Yep.
fun of it. I'm like, my heart is like
Yep.
breaking, shattering, and I was like, absolutely not. Because guys,
Yep.
it's 2025. Like this is a relevant. This isn't just like it's not freaking
Yep.
OnlyFans. It's network marketing. It's not
Dude, but
only. It's
I was
network
like,
marketing.
I was sitting at my mother-in-law's kitchen table making a
Yeah,
six-figure income with a freaking pink Cadillac sitting in the driveway. And she was like, when are you going to get a real job?
I
Because I
know.
sold
It's
Pampered Chef and it closed its doors and Mary Kay's going to close its doors. So you need to go get a real job. And I'm like, your son doesn't work. You know that, right? Like, he doesn't have a job. Your son's job is helping me in my office with
yeah,
Mary Kay and the pink Cadillac in your driveway. You
yeah,
psychopath. Like,
yeah.
what is wrong with you? But I don't think
I think
I owned
it's
it to her, but I don't think there's anything in the world that would have made, but I did own it, regardless
no,
of
totally.
her highly judgmental comments. And I think that's, you've got to own it regardless.
I do. I think it needs to be more people's date night conversations and more like
Mm,
pillow talk with your husband. Just simply
yeah,
being like it, and
yeah,
it's vulnerable, and I get it.
yeah,
Whatever. For some men, it makes them not feel masculine if the girl wants to work. But I think
yeah.
you can tell I'm coming off therapy because I'm like I think more vulnerable conversations, because
Yeah,
what happens is
yeah,
you pine as a network marketer, and you have all these secret dreams and these Zoom calls that you're secretly attending during the day,
yeah,
because God forbid you go to a night Zoom call, and then you're like, you're trying to do it all, and then you freaking break and you wonder why you're not consistent, when all reality, if you just had some support from your
mm-hmm,
loving
mm-hmm,
husband or your
yep,
children not mocking you from like
yeah,
if you're making reels or whatnot, and it's just like, hey guys, we're actually gonna have a conversation.
mm,
I'm doing this. I'm
yeah,
full sending it. And I just think that
mm-hmm,
piece is so vulnerable and you feel dumb, but I think
yeah.
it's a permission. So it's going back to like the bio situation where it's like, write that in your bio. Tell
Like,
your
that's putting it out to
husband.
the world. When you put it in
Yeah,
your bio, you just like,
it's
you,
but watch
you
how
just took
you
out a
watch
billboard.
watch how you work differently. Watch how
Yep,
your husband might take you more seriously if you have an honest conversation about what you're trying to do and why
yeah,
it hurts your feelings when he rolls your eyes when you're doing an Instagram story, and
yeah,
just being like, I genuinely love this and I want this to
yeah.
happen for you. So,
Gosh, I never realized like it was probably very accidental. I never realized like a huge piece of my success has always been whatever crazy thing I wanted to do. My parents and my husband have always been like, absolutely.
yeah.
Like those three people. I mean, my
Mhm.
brothers might roll their eyes, but they're being silly. Like they're
Yeah.
being just
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like that's our relationship. But they would believe in me for anything because they have their own crazy wild dreams that have come true. So I never thought about that. Like no one in my family that I
Well,
actually cared about. I
yeah.
mean, my extended family, my dad's family was like, "Oh my God, she's throwing her life away. What is going?"
Right.
Like they literally had me to dinner. You're throwing your life away. You have a degree. Why would you be peddling lipstick? Like you do not need to be a loser like this. And I'm like, first of all, do we judge much? Second of
Mm-hmm.
all, you guys are
Mm-hmm.
jerks.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, loved you yesterday, not so much
Yeah.
today. But my parents and my husband and my brothers were always, I mean, even in like there was a day where I was like, I think I'm gonna lose my mind and lose everything with
Mm-hmm.
it. And I called my brother and I was like, am I just a loser? And I'm like
Yeah.
crying. I'm like, I think I'm just a loser. I mean, I'm driving a pink Cadillac and I'm crying to
Yeah.
him about this. And he's like, you're not a loser. He's like, here's a couple places in business you need a pivot. Like you need a couple how you're treating your business a little
Mm-hmm.
bit differently,
Right.
and he just said, and I'll generalize this how he kind of said it. He basically said, network marketing people, you live your life off of your best month. He goes, in my industry, we live our life off of our worst,
Mm.
like your lifestyle. And he goes,
Mm-hmm.
so then
Oh
when you
yeah.
have a bad 6 months, the bottom is kind of tricky, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, you need to learn how to run a business a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're not a loser, you're not a failure, So
I
even
love that, and that's very
I don't know.
fortunate. I think, but again,
Yeah.
in the conversations
That's not
we're
normal.
not
It's
we're
not
not
normal.
normal. The
No,
way
it's
that
not
my
normal.
husband supports me too, and
Mhm.
it's a very, and that's not to say, just if you guys are listening and you're like, oh my gosh, my husband, he's not a
Yeah.
jerk. I'm not calling him that, but there
Yeah.
are conversations, uncomfortable conversations you probably should have with him
And
about what he's
maybe you have way more judgment as to what you think he's going to say than not. And he's going to be like,
saying.
I've been waiting for you to just own this and want to
Mm-hmm.
step it up and do more with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think you're great at it. And you do come out of that office after being
Mm-hmm.
on Zooms or probably your closet. You're probably coming out of your literal master bedroom closet hiding from your kids and your husband. You probably don't even have an office. And you're
Mm-hmm.
happier and you're excited. And if you have a great
Mm-hmm.
husband, he loves that part of you,
Right.
you know?
Right. And if he does, I mean, just some tips if you're asking him like why are you so resistant? Can you
Hmm.
tell me more? Is there
Yeah.
something I could do differently that would make you support me in this? Can I show
Yeah.
you examples? Why or why not? Would you be interested in watching the comp plan? Can, just
Yeah.
little things like that of like the line I always used when I was mentoring and coaching now is just tell me more. So if
Yeah.
my husband says, I think it's a joke, tell me more, tell me
Hmm.
more, tell me more.
Yeah.
To get to the core of it, but I genuinely think that that would help women be a little bit more audacious,
If their
period.
family, like that permission is
Yeah,
just
and maybe
go
it's not
full
even
send
like
to
a
their family.
full send, but it's the hey, just go ahead and stop. It's not fair for you to violate my boundary of making me feel inferior because I'm trying to
Mm,
build a social media following.
yeah. Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah. I mean, but what's the saying? Like, we train people on how to treat us.
Exactly,
And
girl.
so
Yeah, you.
I know it's been funny and I've let you make the digs and the jokes in the past about this little side thing that I have, but it's actually really important to me and it's no longer going to be a side thing, it's going to be a real thing.
Yeah.
So I need you to respect it. And
Mm-hmm.
me. Because
Yep.
when I don't think I think a lot of guys might struggle realizing like the tiny comments they make, they're not, a woman doesn't go, oh, he's making that comment towards that business. A woman says he's making that comment towards me.
Mm-hmm.
Like for some
Mm-hmm.
reason we take ownership. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the like, do you want to stick a gum? And you tell a woman
Mm-hmm.
no, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like, she doesn't like me. And I'm like, I literally just already have gum in my mouth.
Yeah, no, we just take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we
I
do.
I do agree, and it's just it's all a very big vulnerable thing. I feel like I compare it to like also doing a diet. Like I
Mm,
have like avoided diets for years because I don't want my husband to be like I don't know, like let's say I'm making like
hmm.
hard boiled eggs, and it's like, what are you doing? Why aren't you just like right? But it's like a whole thing. It's
Yes.
like, what are you doing? It's like a
Yes.
very similar thing. But that's why it's helpful
Hmm.
on a Sunday night with Pillow Talk to be like, hey, tomorrow morning I'm going to film a day in the life, and I'm being dead serious. I'm trying to do these, right? But I swear to you, Chelsea, you're giggling, but this is
So
a
when
dead ass.
you're a weirdo in the garage tomorrow, that's my
Yeah,
favorite behind the
yeah.
scenes
But
though.
like, you just look at them and you just say, listen, tomorrow morning I'm gonna do this. The
Yeah.
tripod's going up and it's
Mhm.
gonna happen. And I want it to continue to happen because I
Yeah.
know that I can do this. Like I
Yeah.
think just more of those conversations would be like so
Yeah.
beneficial.
I, I never thought about my husband's just he has a really great sport. He's an Enneagram 9, so that really helps me out being a
Yes.
peacemaker. But he definitely has his own voice. Like he'll push back. But when I was in your class for those 6 weeks and we
Hmm.
had very specific homework, I said to him, if I don't do the homework, I do not have the ability to ask questions. So I have
Yeah.
to do the homework in order to be able to show up and ask the questions that I want to ask, which means you're going to have to help me do the homework.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all I had to do was explain, like, there's going to be there's a tripod in every room and
Hmm.
you are in the videos. So,
Hmm.
sir, let's go.
We're doing
And
it.
he was so good about it because I just explained
I
why.
love
And
it.
he was so
Yeah.
good.
I love
Yeah.
it. I'm so
Yeah.
here for it.
So I don't know. I heard there was a reel recently where it said the most important business decision you will ever make is who you marry. And I thank God every day that I married the guy that I did. So,
I
woo,
agree.
because he
I
agrees to be on
agree.
stupid videos with me.
I know. I know it. Well,
Yeah.
I know it.
So, oh my gosh, thank you so much
Yes. Thank you
for
for having
coming
me.
here, joining our
Yes.
All Things Excellence fam. You guys, we'll put a million things in the show
Yes.
notes today, a million links. Obviously, there'll be a link over to her main character energy membership. I'm begging you to just give her 1 month. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you
Yeah.
ever thought for just a moment that you
Hmm.
might want to have a tiny little piece of the internet that's yours, that loves you, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter the industry. Again, really truly doesn't. I want you to be in her membership even for just one single month. I think that it
I
can
love it.
be life-changing. And even if you're like, I don't even know if I want to be an influencer on Instagram, maybe I just don't even know who I am in life. I think that you help people own I think help them own their main character energy of life. Forget if they don't want to bring
Hmm.
it to the internet. Maybe they just want to bring it to your life. It's like its own little
Hmm.
self-help incubator.
Yes.
And so I think they need to join you for a month. So
I love
thank
it.
you again.
Yes. Thank you for
All
having me.
right. You've been the best. All right. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.